All right, well, just to get us started, thank y'all for joining us again for another episode of the Night Show. And today, I got another ex-Calvert County All-Star. Came in all the way. 2 days before the inauguration. Got a lot of stuff going on, moving and shaking. We ain't gonna talk about that too much because I gotta work. Miss Jessica Sullivan. As for Jess, y'all might know her. Big on finance, huge on real estate. We go back and forth on Facebook with our friend group all the time, just talking about Black folks and what's going on with us and how we can get better. Jessica, Miss Sullivan, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell the folks what you're into.
I am very passionate about kind of changing the financial trajectory of African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I really got passionate about it probably when I was in my 20s. I was doing life insurance and they were beating us over the head with the statistics of African Americans, and it didn't make sense to me, right? We're working like the same 40 hours as our counterparts and leaving behind for like $5,000 to the next generation. And that didn't sit right. So I went into the car business after that. And I started doing finance, and I'm observing how we spend our money and how other ethnic groups spend their money. And I was picking up tricks of the trade. And so now I'm passionate about financial literacy and teaching people, but mainly us, how to really get on the right journey of our finances.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I mean, I'm glad that we can sit down and have these combos because, as you know, I'm also on that same track. It took me a while because I was doing a lot of studying by myself, but like joining the military, seeing the world, and just seeing how a lot of other cultures do it, just getting that exposure that not most, let alone Black folks, but people in general get to have that experience. It really spoke to me about like, yeah, we really got to get this together. But then that's more I started studying, and I was like, oh, if the laws stop messing with us.
Right. There's reasons why we don't have it together.
Got entire towns being blown up, airports being built on our downtown districts, firebombed from, certain folks.
Redlining, not allowing us to have bank accounts or get loans to purchase real estate. So,
it's kind of hard to have equity if you can't buy anything.
Couldn't get life insurance.
Yeah.
We had to get penny stocks, like stuff like that.
Yeah. What would you say, especially from like where we're growing up, what would you say is something that, like the first step, if somebody was trying to like, all right, I'm hearing all this generational wealth stuff. I'm hearing all this stuff about like what folks can do in order to change the trajectory for the whole family. But what would you say at like the beginning? Like if you would give somebody a playbook, like what would it start? How would it look like?
I would say understand your finances. Whether I was in the car business or doing mortgage loans, I think the first thing for most people is they don't really know how much they make. They might know their take-home pay.
Right.
And if that check is funny, then they're going to say something. But what's coming out of your check every month?
Right.
How much do you really make? That you need to know. And then I would also say bills. Like so many of us, especially now we can subscribe to whatever. We don't realize how much different places our money is going every month.
Right.
I have a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm paycheck to paycheck. And then I look at their paycheck and I'm looking at their bills and I'm like, you're paycheck to paycheck because you just spent $100 a week over at Wendy's.
Yeah.
And then you got, 3 different music subscriptions you're paying for. And so, just understanding how much you're getting paid and where your money's going. I always tell people when I do talks, you need to have a relationship with your money, right? You wouldn't let your man or your girlfriend be coming in and out the house without you knowing where they're going. So why do you let your money do the same? So, yeah.
I mean, when you put it like that, we put like a very tangible, very like universal like flip to it. I get where folks would be at with that. Okay. I mean, I feel like sometimes like how you spend your money is like it's like voting. That's how I kind of like when I started getting more serious about my finances. Like, okay, what am I voting for?
Right.
It's like, okay, cool. I can go out and spend $60 whatever on this dinner and with drinks and da da da. But then that's what I'm voting for. That's like I'm putting my money in the ballot for this company to just be making this money off of me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's like, oh, everybody's so nice enough here. I'm like, yeah, because you keep spending money here,
Right.
dog. Like, of course they're going to be nice to you. You're paying their bills.
Right.
You secure their
Helping
generational
them up.
wealth. Why the transition from like the car to real estate?
So I didn't understand how important it was until I bought my house.
Okay.
Everybody looks to the real estate agent first, but the real estate agent actually will send you to a lender to see what you're approved for. And then they'll show you a home. So to me, the lender's part in it is extremely important. And with us being so behind on financial literacy, we grow up not really understanding the steps to be able to purchase a home and how important it is to be able to build the equity in a house and be able to do stuff with that equity. So once I bought a house, I remember I reached out to a couple of lenders. Some blew me off because I didn't make a lot of money. One guy in particular was like, you got good credit score, you're in the 700s, you make decent money, you have low debt, like, let's do it.
Right.
So yeah, I saw how important it was to have somebody on your side when buying a house that just isn't brushing you off.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, well, let me go ahead and move on over to this industry because it's something else that I know we're behind on when it comes to purchasing homes.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like I you see it every couple of years, like, oh, this bank was investigated and they violated the Fair Housing Act, or you saw this one bank and they're like, oh, or it's like the appraisers or whatever, they're going through a house and it was like that one story where it was like folks were selling their house, but it was a black family and they had all the pictures of their family or whatever, and then it was like super low compared to like all the other houses in the area that were like pretty much similar, and then they're like, you know what, let's just go ahead and make a run to the thrift store, get some white folk pictures up, and it's like, how did it go up $175,000?
Yeah.
Just like that. That's crazy. But then like you see that and it's just like it just keeps coming. In your experience, or like for those that you work with, what type of hurdles are folks running into, like even to this day, like trying to get a house? Who are in a good financial, besides the folks who are like, yeah, your finances is jacked up, but
it's a little bit of everything especially for our community. Credit is a struggle. Income is a struggle. Us always trying to do things on our own instead of as a group. If you're making $3,000 a month, you more than likely are not going to buy a home, especially not in PG County.
No.
It's just not going to happen. Even looking at a condo, it's not going to happen.
No.
But if you're already living with people and renting a place, why not pool your money together and purchase a larger home?
Yeah.
And you guys all can have your space.
Right.
And now if one of you wants to leave, you refinance the house, let them buy themselves out and go about their business.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a bunch of ways, but we're very individual as a people. So when, so-and-so turns 18, they're ready to move out, instead of letting them stay at home and earn their money or save their money and stuff like that. So I think that's huge.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think that's the issue. Like, there's like this hyper independence that kind of like pervades our community in a way. And I think there's a little bit of fear in there because folks just tend to think that if there's too many of us like kind of clicking up and getting together and like getting our finances, then become a target. And that's not based on nothing. Like there's some validity there, but 100% to your point, like you can't do this by yourself.
No.
You need group economics to make this thing happen. Even like what I'm trying to do now, like I got this house, got some other property, just family stuff that just like eventually will either fall to me or fall to my dad and into me, or my some of my other like extended family. But like it's like we need to get this together.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do the X, Y, and Z. And it's funny because a lot of my friends in the military are just like, now I keep talking to them, I keep sending them stuff. They're like, hey man, you think you might want to like buy some land together? I'm like, exactly, yes, 100%. Let's do that, like right now. Like that's the plan. Like how much should we all be saving for the next year, and then we can pull together. And I think the conversation right now is like, do we start an LLC? Do we just go in it individually? Like then there's like the tax implications with that. So it's always trying to figure that out.
I think that's a great idea. I push that often with people. It minimizes or mitigates the risk that you have to have buying a property, an investment property.
Yeah.
You're splitting that 20% 5 different ways,
Right.
instead of having to pay a whole 20% of whatever the cost of the property is.
Right.
I have a client that was actually with me in the car business. Him and his mother own multiple properties.
Yeah.
What they do is they purchase a home, they put a tenant in it. After like a year or two, they'll pull the equity out of the house, take that cash, purchase another house, put a tenant in it.
Yeah.
After a year or two, and just keep repeating the process.
Yeah.
That way they've only put 20% in the first house.
Right.
And everything they buy from there on is just equity from that house.
Yeah.
They never have to come out of pocket again for something.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's super smart. Especially if you're talking about, especially if you're talking about like just putting that initial 20 down, that saves so much. But it takes so much. That takes so long to try and save that up for some folks.
It does.
For anybody, if you're an average person trying to get 20%, especially with the houses now, what you're getting for a house right now versus like maybe like you're not getting a brick house anymore. You're getting like plywood.
Yeah, plywood. Hopefully some insulation.
Hopefully it wasn't like a monsoon that went through for like a whole like 3 weeks. And they're like, okay, let's go and put the roof on now. Like, oh, you got to be black mold to the gill.
But I think like certain places, like Baltimore, you can do it still.
Yeah.
Right? You can still find a house under 200,000. It's going up. So investors, y'all are buying stuff up.
Yeah.
But you can definitely find it. You have your multi-unit properties. There's house hacking with that. You can purchase a 4-unit property as a residential property, live in one, rent out the other 3.
Yeah.
There you go. And when the lender's looking at it, they take into account that you'll be renting out those other 3 properties. So that's your income too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's like a lot of little hacks. I need people to want to research and reach out. And when there's free classes, sign up for them.
Yeah. No, 100%. So when it comes to like the classes, like generally, like what's the frame look like for y'all, like when you're putting it together?
So it just depends on the class I'm teaching. So like right now, Calvert County Health Department hired me to do a 4-class program. So I do savings and budgeting, investments, credit, and how to leverage your equity in a home.
Okay.
So those are the 4 classes for that program I put on. But I also do, first-time home buyers programs, different ways. I do classes going over the different loan types that people might be interested in. So again, it just depends on who wants what.
No, got you. Yeah, because I'll probably be there now. Like I probably can get the rest of this house done by the end of the year. So like that's my goal to like, all right, it's done. Somebody can move in here. And right now I'm working because I got my sister's about to start renting a room out for me. For my younger sister's going to start renting a room out for me. So it's like, all right, cool with that, and like then maybe I can move out, and then that covers the mortgage plus, and then they just take over all the utilities and all this and shenanigans, and then like, all right, cool, take that equity out, get another house, start doing the same thing.
Do it again.
But not to the depth of what I did to this house, because this was insanity.
Was it?
I should not have. That was a lot. I'm not going to say I should not have, because it's going to pay me back in the long run. But like 1.5 bathroom to a 3 full bathroom. Yeah. Full kitchen is getting redone.
Yeah.
The basement getting finished. All the lighting was not here. So like putting recessed lights in every room, fans, remodeling the deck, because all the foundation was good and everything was good. We just added more onto it. And that was like a 2-week process, but it was just,
I bet.
Man.
Well, and that's another thing. Like I wish, especially us, would consider more. Purchasing homes that aren't turnkey.
Yeah.
As long as they're in livable conditions, go ahead and build that equity off the break, because you're going to come in. A lot of people want to be able to repaint anyway or change toilets because they don't want to sit on somebody else's toilet. So you're going to come in and do some.
I love how people. That's so funny you say that, because my friend was in here and I was like, we were remodeling the bathroom and I took the old toilet out and she was like, "Oh, you should go ahead and just get a new toilet and this, that, and the other." I'm like, "It's like, oh, look at the old toilet. I think it's cracking right here." I'm like, "That's a $17 seat." I'm just going to buy another seat.
Some people are very funny about it. They don't want to sit on somebody else's toilet.
I get it, but I'm like, bro, I'm just going to buy another seat. For the bathrooms that don't have one or the super, super old toilets, I'll flip it out. But, $150 or $17.
Yeah, but I feel like it's worth it. You make the house the way you want it, and now you have a lot of equity. That's actually what I did with my house. So I don't mind talking about the numbers with that.
Let's go.
So I was probably making about $60,000 at this time in the car business. I had only been in it for about 2 years, because I have to be 2 years with that, commission based. Okay. So I found a home. Okay. It was so ugly on the inside, but they were selling it for, I think, like $225.
Okay. That's great.
Long story short, I worked them down to $197. Because of the loan type I used, we not only had them cover the majority of my closing costs, I was able to roll the existing closing cost in, and I had no down payment. So I came out of pocket in total about $1,500 to purchase my house.
That's what I'm talking
about. We have completely gutted this house on multiple occasions. So my house went from $197,000 when I purchased it, and it's probably worth about $450,000 now. So that's from 2016 to 2024. Yeah. Or 2023 is when I got it appraised last. Where else can I put my money to get that type of growth?
Can't.
It's nowhere. So I really need us to start looking at some fixer-uppers, especially with the boomers getting ready to sell their older homes and downsize and stuff like that. Like the house doesn't have to be sexy right away. No. You can go in and put some paint on stuff, change some cupboards, and make it look good.
No, 100%. And it's piece by piece. And trying to find an electrician or trying to find like a plumber or something like that, like just save up. Just save what you have. You can take out personal loans. Yeah. And try not to use too much credit. I understand it's there. But if you can avoid it at all costs, please do. For the love of God, I'm telling y'all from experience, don't use a credit card.
Well, I will say, like, things with like Lowe's or Home Depot.
See, now you're talking.
You spend a certain amount of money, they'll give you a 0% for like 18 months.
I was about to say that. Like, if you can pay that down.
Get your materials right there.
Yeah, if you can pay that down, or if you got somebody that who does this kind of work for a living, then, you're cooking. You could have that work done. If they're like, hey, just get me pay my guys, my day guys, my day labor dudes. Don't want to really buy anything about me. Just get the materials and we square. Like, look, those people exist. They're probably in your family. Or they're friends of friends or something.
Your real estate agent's probably going to know a contractor 100%. That will be able to help you out.
100%. 100%. And just room by room. That's it. Not the whole thing at once. Yeah. Yeah.
It definitely took a while, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, it's been, man, when I first got here, I was like, all right, ADD brain on.
Oh, isn't it bad?
It's so
and then you
bad.
See something else, you're like, maybe I should do this instead.
I'm just like, I'm just going to paint. And the next thing I know, I'm just like covered in plaster and I'm just like digging on the wall. I'm like, I just need to put a 20 amp and then I'll just run it. I'm like, no.
Well, see, I don't know about all that stuff. I hired somebody for that.
Yeah, I'm like, man, unfortunately, I spent a lot of time doing damage control work when I was on the boat. Mm-hmm. When I first got in the Coast Guard. So it was like repair electrician work. So if there was a fire and you need to reroute the power to another side of the ship because there's like no ship where it used to be.
Being on talking about a ship just gives me anxiety.
Oh, man.
Y'all will never catch me on a ship.
All right, side note. So I've been on the way for like 3 months. Mm-hmm. And my mom does travel agent stuff. And so I've been on the cruises since I was little. So my mom's like, we're going to go on a family trip. We're going on a cruise. It's going to be great. And probably like, what was it? 2 days after I got off a boat, 2 days after I got off a boat, I'm back on another one, going back to sea, going back to the same spots in the Caribbean I was in. And I'm just like, well, at least I can drink now. I'm just like, just pouring it out. My mom's like, why are you drinking so much? It's like, because I'm stressed.
I am terrified of getting on the boat.
Oh,
that is probably like my most irrational fear is being on like a ship.
I love ships.
A little boat out there in the Potomac, I'm good. Ship, anything a storm can roll up on us, nah.
You good. The way technology is now, like, no storm's gonna pop up. You might catch a rogue wave that might pop up.
I'm thinking like worst case scenario, like all the bathrooms or something just happen to stop working. That's not.
That doesn't happen.
Oh my God.
Like the power system just drops and like it doesn't kick back up, so you just in the dark for a minute.
No.
Yeah. It's great times.
Like I have friends in the Navy and they're like, oh, it's the best sleep you'll ever have. And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
This is true.
I get great sleep in my bed. I'm good.
It's like, no, I don't need to be rocked by the waves of the deep. I can just put in a nice like ocean sound.
Right. I'll roll over a few times in bed. I'll be all right. Not for me.
Oh man. I recommend it. I know. I recommend it. I do recommend it for anybody to get on a ship. Not join the military and do the long way like I did. But no, definitely get underway. If you're in the military, get underway. If you're in the Coast Guard and the Navy, don't get underway. You're not a sailor. All right. Anyway, so yes, back to what we're going on. Yeah, if the work you can do, if you can find somebody to do it, please do, because it's so awesome. And after a couple of years will go by, equity starts increasing your house. Then, like you said, you can start renting it out. Work on the next one. What are some of the issues that you see, like, for folks if they're not prepared and they're just kind of going like full tit? Like, what is like the drawbacks of the home ownership?
I think a lot of people have in their mind that they have to put down 20% to purchase a home, which is not the case at all. An FHA loan, typically you're going to need about 3% and at least a 580 credit score.
That's
doable.
Yeah.
USDA, you're going to want to have a 640 credit score, and that's no money down. VA, no money down.
Hey.
They actually do not have a credit requirement for a VA loan.
Yep.
And then conventional, did I say 3% for FHA? 3.5% FHA. 3% for conventional. You really want like a 660 credit score or higher with that. But there's a lot of down payment assistance programs out there.
Oh, I know that.
Ton. PG County has Pathways to Purchase, where they'll give you up to $25,000 to go towards your down payment and closing costs. A lot of people don't realize there is closing costs when purchasing a home.
Yep.
So yeah, you can always negotiate though. So talk to your real estate agent, you guys. You can negotiate closing costs and figuring out what's best for the offer you're going to give.
Yeah.
Maryland itself has Maryland Mortgage Program, which will give you up to 5%. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to use that program. Just can't own a house currently. Damn it. So if you sell it before settlement, it'll work. But
okay.
So there's those things, and I think people need to get out of their own way mentally to be able to purchase. They're so scared. Like I have people that are like, oh, well, I have to get my credit right and then I'll come see you. And I'm like, well, do you know what you need to fix to be able to get your credit right? Yeah, that's the other
side of it. It's like, what exactly? Like, do you even know what direction to go to, just to get it repaired?
People are like, oh, I got to pay off this. I got to pay off that. You might be paying off things that your lender doesn't want you to pay off or need you to pay off.
Right.
I might need you to keep that money in reserves so that it looks like you have extra money in your bank account.
Yeah.
You've already taken that hit on the charge off. It's charged off. We don't care.
Right.
They've already recouped their money on a charge off too. So
yeah, that's another thing. Like when people like look up and they're like, what do you mean you sold my debt? What do you mean you can buy debt? Like, yeah, that is the thing that this game is. It's got many levels to this.
Tax write-off for them when you don't pay.
Yeah, right. It's like, appreciate it. It's like, you got money back because I didn't pay you money? Yeah.
Right. And then people still trying to pay them because they didn't pay them originally. So, yeah.
It's an interesting game we're playing.
It is. And we need to learn it.
Yes, 100%.
We definitely need to learn it.
100%. Tell folks where they can reach out and find you, get in contact with you, like join one of the courses. None of my schedules, well, after this weekend and this week,
After the
after the
inauguration.
inauguration, I'll be very cleared up.
You can reach out to me on my website. It is www.ask, the number 4, jessloans.com. You can also reach out to me through email at www. Oh, not www. Look, it's ask for.
You're so millennial. You're such a millennial. You hanging out with the old folks. You hanging out.
I am hanging out with old folks.
The bingo hall. Yeah, www.
Because people be getting confused and they still like. I crack up when people are like, "It's capital H." I'm like, it doesn't really matter if it's capital or not. But I let them say it, so now I'm so used to it.
Know your audience. I got it.
I am ask the number 4 Jess Jess loans at gmail.com. And then my IG is ask.for.jess. I think that's mainly it.
Yep. For you old folks out there, IG is Instagram. Ask your grandkids about it. They hook you up.
And then I do have a book people can buy.
Mm-hmm. What's this book about? Oh my gosh, tell me more.
So I love it.
Okay.
So a little backstory about me.
Let's do it. All right.
When I was in the car business, I'm obviously commissioned, so I never knew what my actual paycheck was going to be month for month. And I'm a single mom. So I used to like print out these like almost like workbook type of things so that I could keep track of all of my bills, my income, my savings. So that's what really helped me be able to be on track with everything when I purchased my house. So I made a book. It's called So You Want to Buy a Home, a Financial Planner. It's available on Amazon. Though it is geared to buying a home, you do not have to be in the market to purchase to be able to utilize the resources in the book.
Yep.
So in the book, there is calendars, there's to-do sheets, there's a little bit of information on credit, like how credit is actually established, how it's broken down. There are sections for you to keep track of paying, not just paying your bills, but paying off your debt. So your revolving debts, your credit cards, your loans, your car notes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Write down your goals. Like, what do you want your house to look like? How much do you want to pay a month? Being very visual and intentional with home buying really helps when you get into it because it can be very overwhelming for some people.
Yeah.
So having a nice little book to keep everything in track is great, I think.
You know what? You got all the type A folks. They are on board. It's like, you have a book and it's got a planner.
Yeah.
And it's got little Excel spreadsheets.
It's cute.
Okay, I believe
it's
you.
Cute.
I believe you.
I should have brought it. I'm
slipping. Fine. I'll buy it. We'll get all this stuff together. We'll put it all together in the show and we'll edit it and it'll all be in here.
All right, that works.
Okay, so books on Amazon. Make sure y'all folks go out there and cop that thing. Make sure y'all go out and buy that book. Let's see. Question. Calvert County.
Oh, good old Calvert.
The place that dear to my heart, where when you first enter it says God bless y'all real good. Although the sign's gone now.
Is it? I've never noticed.
It's not there.
I haven't noticed.
I've been so it's like, yeah, it says God bless y'all real good and come in. And it's gone. It's not there anymore. The government.
Now I'm gonna notice when I go back home.
It's like that's all you're gonna see. So when you go back, it's like, oh yeah, the sign is gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody ran into it.
That's probably more likely what happened. Not to say there was alcohol involved, but I'm not going to not say it wasn't no alcohol.
For Calvert County, it's probably alcohol.
Yeah. It's funny to see, off topic, it's funny to see how many people from DC try to go into Calvert County and rob a bank.
And then go the wrong way.
what way are you supposed to go? Because it's
Sir,
only
ma'am, there is one way. You better rob something on the left side of the road so that you can pull out and just go right back up to DC.
It's terrible. I'm like, y'all clearly just think that it's just like, oh, we in the sticks down here. I'm like, Calvert County Sheriff's Office is so well funded. Y'all have no idea.
Well funded and nothing else to do.
It's not a lot going on. Every once in a while, they get something crazy popping off,
and they're allowed to chase.
And they are allowed to chase. You are in the wrong place to do crime.
Yeah, stay in PG.
No, don't come from Baltimore thinking, oh yeah, we went down Calvert County, act up, dummy.
And then they go like down to Prince Frederick. Where are you going from Prince Frederick?
He's going closer to more police. Going down
that's where the state barracks are. The county police. You got to make a U-turn and come back up the road. Like, yeah.
Not a good move.
At all.
Not a good move.
I just laugh.
Yeah. It's just funny. Every time I see it, it's like, oh, active chase going on after bank robbery in Calvert County. I'm like, oh, this will be wrapped up in about 15 minutes.
Right. Well, I was laughing. So if you're coming into the county going south, there is, oh God, I forget what bank it is, but someone robbed it. Mm-hmm. And then there's no way for you to make a left turn to go back out of the county. So they had to go right. And they just chased them all the way through the county and got them. But I'm just like, y'all might want to do a little research before you go robbing places, because that was dumb. How'd you rob the bank that's on the other side of the road? You could have just left and went back out.
Yep. I mean, they still would have probably got you, but at least it would have been a little bit of a longer chase. Just slightly.
Might have had a chance.
Might have had a slight chance.
And don't go off on the back roads, because that's it for you.
You don't know where you're going. There are no guardrails on Wilson Road, so
yeah, no.
Have fun. I mean, it was good for us growing up.
Oh, I loved it. I was out there speeding in my little Mercury Cougar. Y'all couldn't tell me nothing.
Oh, you in the Merc. Oh, my God.
Couldn't tell me a thing.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's taking me back. That's so funny.
My little two-door coupe. Mm-hmm. Picking everybody out there. What do we have? I had like a 4-seater, two-door coupe, and we at least would ride like 4, 5, 6 people deep in there.
Of course, as one does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just glad my son is not like me. He's so nice and calm. And
you needed a break. You know, you Aries. I'm a Sagittarius. So I
fire signs.
I understand the energy.
Oh, it's rough in my house. My mom's a Capricorn, which is a goat.
My mom's a Capricorn too.
My daughter and me are Aries, which are Rams. Mm-hmm. And then my son is a Taurus, which is a bull.
Yep.
So, yeah. We got a lot of stubbornness going on in that house.
A little bit.
It's rough.
Yeah. My dad's an Aries. My grandpa was a Leo. So, like, when we all were in the room together, it was some times. Some times. All right, we got off a tangent. But thank you again for coming, man. Like, we should definitely do this again. I got a couple buddies on the West Coast that are coming out here. Mm-hmm. I think y'all will get along very well.
I'm for it.
Deep in the real estate, just trying to make it move and shake out there. But yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, y'all. Until next time. Floss, brush your teeth, and all that good stuff. Night joke. Wow.
No, it's good.
Yes.